On the last day of the 43rd ASEAN Summit and its related summit, the 18th edition of the East Asian Summit was also being held with 18 participating countries, including 10 ASEAN member countries and 8 ASEAN dialogue partners, including the Russian Federation. And to know more about the Russian Federation role in the summit, we also already being with Madam Maria Zakharova, the spokesperson of the Russian Federation Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Madam Maria Zakharova, thank you for your time for C today. So you just know that the East Asia Summit is going on the last day of the ASEAN Summit and its related summit. So regarding this summit, are there any special expectations from the Russian Federation regarding the outcome of the East Asia Summit?
Yeah, thank you very much for your interest, and I want to stress that the whole world is entering a new global era. It's the era of multipolarity. We were talking as Russian Federation about multipolarity long ago. Unfortunately, we were not heard by many countries, and now it's a reality, it's our future. And I think, and this is actually the position of my country, that ASEAN is bringing a brilliant experience of what we're calling future multipolar world, because it's based on a pure cooperation. Nobody is trying to change the members of ASEAN family, and nobody is trying to, for example, change the regimes or system. Especially, we know that lots of countries which are the members of ASEAN of different systems. They are of different political orientation, but nevertheless, it doesn't have any sort of bad influence on this cooperation. So this is extraordinary, outstanding example of how such cooperation could be spread in different polars of multipolar world. Another thing which is very important, that this is not any sort of, for example, military bloc or a sort of organization which put confrontation in the center of its psychology. It's not about being in confrontation with anybody. It's only to bring the potentials of each member to overcome difficulties and problems. And for our country, it's very important that ASEAN and all the mechanisms which are inside this organization or this forum will be safe for the future and will develop in such a way. Because we are watching different influences on ASEAN, from, for example, from abroad, from the West, how they try to dominate in this region as well. But this is not how the things should be done. So I just mentioned two topics. We have lots of them, but the major are that we want ASEAN to move on in these moods and in this atmosphere of mutual respect, cooperation, friendship, and we also want to enjoy benefits of cooperation with ASEAN. And actually, I'm pretty much sure that the members of ASEAN also regard Russia as a good partner, as a reliable partner, as a friend.
Until this 18th edition of the East Asian Summit, how the Russian Federation see the significance of the East Asia Summit? Are there any specific issues within the region, especially the Asia-Pacific region, that the ASEAN and also just like the East Asian Summit that should be fostered in the future from the perspective of Russian Federation?
Lots of them, because each year, unfortunately, brings new challenges. For example, nobody could expect, for example, pandemic, but it raises so many issues. I think we won't have time to mention all of them, but of course it's security and stability, which should be based on, as I already said, cooperation. It's very modern, very interesting, and very, I think, having lots of potential issues like for example, cyber secure or cyber cooperation. It's of course exchange of experiences in overcoming pandemic in all fields. It's not only health, it's also economy, security, and others. So it's just, and of course, ecology. I mean, this is the issue for the whole world, and fortunately, it's on the agenda of different regions and continents nowadays. So just several of them. But to my mind, the global security and stability, which are so much needed for the prosperity, should be actually on one of the first places.
I see. The ASEAN also adopted the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Outlook that also deliberated in the last 2 days within the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum. How does Russia perceive the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Outlook that was just deliberated in the last 2 days during the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum?
As I already mentioned, ASEAN has beautiful and outstanding experience of overcoming problems within itself, with no asking or not letting others who are not the members of the region and never have good input in the resolving problems to influence in a bad way. So this is very important to save this direction in the future. And to have this potential for ASEAN to resolve its own problems and to choose its own way for the future. And we're all, of course, we will support this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time for today, Madam Zakharova. Thank you.